Okay, sorry it's so dark. It's like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning as I film this. I just need to get this out. My thoughts were fresh. I'm still wearing a jersey, and I'm glad I did because there's some wrestling connections here. We'll get into. Um, Happy Gilmore too. I just got to watch this movie, and I will say it. This movie was made for me, the person who watched the original so many times back in the day. Okay, that's really appealed to not the casual audience or an audience who could really care. No, they appeal to basically people over 30, like myself, and I'm fine with that. Um, so yeah, like this movie had me cracking up, had me almost crying. It's and it was all done so well. Like I was so scared. Like it, it would be another one of those sequels that missed the mark of what made the original so good. You know, trying to appeal to this generation, and it's like it wasn't made for them. It was made for us. And then thankfully they didn't do that. Like this movie feels like it could have came out in like the early 2000s or something like, and that's awesome. So the story is, let's see what YouTube says. For Adam Sandler returns to one of his most beloved roles in this all-star comedy that finds Happy Gilmore rebuilding his life one golf swing at a time. Which yeah, that's it. So like yeah, basically that's true. And what happens is like at the end of the first movie, spoilers, he got the girl. He won. He beat Shooter. 30 years later, his girl is in a better place now, unfortunately. Shooter is going through his own thing, which I won't spoil. Um, and he broke. So he has to golf again to help put his daughter through ballet. And there's a good parallel there. Like you'll see, like there's a bunch of montages, like a Rocky movie, by the way. You'll see him golfing, you'll see her doing ballet, and you see her encouraging him because he's really like retired from golf, done with that. Because I won't say why, but it's sort of attractive. You saw the first movie, like literally, he basically did that. Like I'm not gonna say anymore, but like he quit golfing for a while, and just started drinking a lot, and it was actually sort of sad to see. Not gonna lie, but his daughter, her ballet, actually gets him back into golfing, and ultimately off the alcohol, and to turn his life around. Um, yeah, and so like they had 4 or 5 kids, like they had like just what 3 or 4 boys and 1 girl. I lost count. But yeah, and one of the kids is MJF, which I knew he was in this. So I guess I forgot. But again, wrestling, um, because he talked about it on AEW. But like he like saved his beard and he looked so young. I forgot. It made me remember. Oh yeah, that dude is young. I have to be like a decade older than him or something. Like holy shit, making me feel old. Um, and not just him. Like Becky Lynch is in this too, which we'll circle back to, which was a big surprise to me. Speaking of surprises, there are so many cameos from the movies past and just in general. And I knew who most of the people were. There, so I'm like, I got no idea who that is. There's one that perhaps didn't age well. Stephen A. Smith talking about because Happy gets arrested for something, and he's like, I want to see justice and all that shit. And meanwhile, in actuality, he's one of those people who are like Epstein. Why are we talking about Epstein? We need to move on. It's like, no, definitely not. Especially now they're trying to cover it up. Like anyway, but like yeah, so yeah, did not age super well. Um, and there's another cameo that I spoiled for myself by accident. Like just a few hours ago, I was on YouTube and that video popped up with Adam Sandler, and it said Adam Sandler explains how he got an Eminem for Happy Gilmore 2. And I'm like, thankfully I didn't watch the video. The first few seconds played like it did like a preview and went somewhere else. So I didn't know who would play or anything, and I'm not gonna say much. I wanted wonder how many people would recognize him before he starts doing his Eminemisms, like Detroit, what? Like he did. Literally, they reenacted that scene from Forgot About Dre when he's being interviewed. They take him away. Detroit, what? Then he starts name dropping his own shit. I just don't give a fuck. Which was a Tupac song before it was an Eminem song. It was made it even funnier when they cut to a dude wearing a Tupac shirt just cracking up. So yeah, but even that cameo meant something. Like they all do. Like they pay so much. Like there's so much love here, which you don't see much more in movies. Quite honestly, especially in sequels. Especially in sequels to movies that haven't been around for a while. I remember some things about it. I know what we did last summer, and I got spoiled on one thing too about that. And I'm pissed off, but I don't even know how. I now get to WTF because like how. We won't get into that. So yeah, like you don't see this sort of love. Like literally, they pay tribute to every single fallen actor and their character. The ending, I almost cried. I'm not gonna lie, I almost cried. Um, but then thankfully, Adam Sandler cracks a joke. Like, wow. I don't know if it was AI. I don't know. Wow. These people are gone, but they are present in this movie. Now just being because everybody's kid. Like Scream did that to the ground. It was over. It's done. Here, it was more about again honoring these fallen actors and athletes like that. Like in the trailer, you saw that big tall dude who looked like a boss, and turned out that I was right. That was his son, and even he got a whole story. And he didn't only show him for like a couple of scenes, but he got a whole story. Um, he got like fleshed out too in just a few scenes. You got to learn about him and his family. Chubbs, his son, who's like Lavelle Crawford, who is hilarious. At first, I didn't know if I was gonna like him as Chubbs' son, but yeah, he's hilarious. Like he somehow gives a fuck, but don't give a fuck at the same time. It's hilarious. And of course, Lavelle Crawford, that delivery, his well-known delivery makes it even funnier. Uh, man, like all the Happy's kids are they're just so they're him. The boys are him, and the daughter is easily uh, Julie Bowen, who I went in like I wish we got more of, but then by the end I'm like they gave her just the correct amount of screen time. Yeah, and there are a lot of training montages, but there are also a lot of like happy place montages. Like remember from the first movie, there's a lot more of those. It's not just happy as he's in some of those happy places. And Stephen meets her 90s self in one of those places, and it's pretty funny. Um, yeah, like man, this was done correctly. This was one of those sequels done correctly. This is also one of those sequels to a property you haven't seen or heard from in decades done correctly. Like they knew who they were aiming for. And they tried to do that with the Power Rangers, with the once and always. People didn't get it. Like the casual audience was like, "What is it?" Like it wasn't for you. That's what it is. Like same here. Like if I got a feeling that people are gonna love this, but I can still see people saying, "No, people are gonna love this." And I like Power Rangers, which was truly what it was, which is can't be fun, which is a bad thing this day and age. This movie is truly what it is. Funny ass golf comedy with some dramatic elements. Like the first half, pretty dramatic. The second half is hilarious. All of it is just heart on its sleeve, and I love that. I remember I was watching an interview with Adam Sandler, and he said even a few years ago he wouldn't even thought about doing this movie. He was like, "What? Why? 30 years ago? Why?" Fast forward to now, I mean, he's done it. And apparently Carl Weathers was supposed to be a big part of it, but obviously he couldn't be for obvious reason. Still though, his presence is in the movie. That's one of the reasons I almost was in tears. Like I don't know how they did that, but yeah. Uh, shit. So Becky Lynch, the fiery, beautiful, strong Irish woman, was put in a golf, was put in a ice simulation with snow and everything. Because they had to strap them in there, but they had her like a silver stripe with like matching boots, pumps, whatever. And it's like, I know what you're doing. Yeah, this other team. So the dude who formed this other team that they gotta go against, Josh recruit happy. He's like, no, it's not golf. Because they said what I said before, golf is boring as hell. But they were inspired by happy to be different. There's a shot clock, and like I said, there's the weird simulated like weather and all that shit. And apparently, fatalities are just part of the game now. And I agree with happy that's not golf. Even though I'm not really big into the sport, I'm like, damn, that's a lot. That's a story of old versus new. And yeah, so Happy's dealing with all that while at the same time fighting for golf and everything for everybody else. And Shooter, I like what they do with him. I don't think I would at first. And again, the trailer, you get that scene where they fight and everything. And my favorite scene from the first movie, Price is wrong, bitch. And then Bob Barker's like, you better know. Turns around, hits it one more time. Now you better enough, bitch. They do that again. It's him and Shooter fighting in the cemetery, and you see gravestones for every single one of the fallen actors, even Jackass dude. And he's on top of Scooter, and he's hitting him. And Happy says, "Game over, bitch," just as you see Bob Barker's grave. And then as Scooter gets his own, he punches Happy. It says, "Jackass," that you see the Jackass dude's grave. And then they do another tribute to him later on, which I get it because he apparently that dude was the actual golf legend, so it makes sense to do a tribute. But I wasn't expecting it, let alone two of them. But yeah. And by the way, Adam Sandler's daughters were great in this. I'd never really seen them in anything, at least not anything this extended. Like I wasn't sure if those were his daughters until I like one of them. I looked at her, I was like, yeah, she looked just like him, and his wife's in here too, and she looked just like her. And that didn't go with the way I thought it would. I thought they would be like a love interest. No, it's in that kind of story at all. And his other daughter, who I presume is older, um, I really like. She did a great job. Like she had her presence. Like what am I saying more? Um, like she was the scene with Ben Stiller. But I was like, how is he back? Like how? Well, he's done abusing the elderly. Now he's abusing AA people. Like he started running to like the girls in his group, even happy. Like they wash his car and paint his house. I'm like, this reminded me of when Michael Bay had Megan Fox like wash his car to audition for Transformers. I'm like, that's stupid and weird. Why? Same here. Thankfully, the movie knows that. By the way, there's a question about Ben Stiller. People who asked the first one, they answered here. Like I never asked before, but it was a good question. They answered it here. Mine was always, why is he back? I don't know why. He's one of those. My uncle is this. My uncle is that. It's always one out of two antagonists. Yeah, Ben Stiller and the dude with the team, and his team by extension. So yeah, Shooter's not an antagonist. I'm not gonna elaborate because it's something you should see for yourself. Like I like what they did. He's there. He does fight happy and everything. But by the way, Christopher McDonald is still awesome. Like we saw him earlier this year in Beverly Hills Cop golfing, ironically enough. But before that, I asked him in anything. It was great. He was still like he usually plays a sort of bad guy, but like what they did here. Um, Speaking of people you haven't seen in a while, I haven't seen in a while. If you watch Adam Sandler movies from the '90s to the early 2000s, there was a dude with the eyes, and he talked like this. He's in there. Surprised me. Like I didn't know he was still acting. It was real good to see him. Like my goodness. Also, so many Adam Sandler callbacks too. Like you can do it. Yeah. Which means Rob Schneider's in there. It's like yeah. It really felt like a labor of love, man. Uh, Especially for a movie that Adam Sandler even a few years ago wouldn't even thought about making. They put a whole lot of love in here. They did it correctly. This is how you do a sequel. Um, yeah, that's all I have, I believe. Thank you for watching.